So we are streaming, guys, and I am going to be streaming a tier list of all of my skits. Originally, I was going to do just the ones from this year, 2021, but I have changed my mind. My opinion has changed, and I will be doing every single skit. So these seem to be in a pretty random order, so we're just going to go as we see them. Oh boy, and if we need to rewatch them, I have the playlist up as well. 16 weeks since graduation. And as I'm going along, I'm going to be telling the tales about these as well. So, how do I even describe how I came up with this one? So 16 weeks. Um, after Dragon Ball Super ended, somebody would post on r/Ning a picture of a dead character or unconscious, and they did this every single week until they ran out of characters they could use, or until they got bored. I don't know which came first. I thought this was funny, so after I graduated from high school, I did this with my friends, and then eventually it turned into a skit. Somebody recommended that I made like a funny video on it, and then I made a funny video on it, or at least I think it's funny. Honestly, I thought it was funny, but now it's been a few years and now my opinion has changed. I'm honestly pretty hard on myself on this one now. I feel, but it was my first one that I tried seriously to do. So, and I also got like a bunch of people in it, which is honestly pretty impressive. So, we'll keep in A minus for now. 3D All Stars was really good. This one I was inspired by Super Mario 3D All Stars, which came out. That was a game that came out last year, I think. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. And it came out. I liked it, but I don't remember why. They didn't have Galaxy 2. That was the big joke of it. So they didn't have Galaxy 2, and I thought it was funny that they didn't have Galaxy 2. So I had Bryce, who I think this was his first skit. He dressed up as Mario, and he did a great job. I'm going to put this in A tier. Alphabet Soup. This was... What was this stupid? There was a really stupid cover of the Ratatouille song that I thought was really funny. And I had Dante come over to my house randomly during, I think it was summer break. Yeah, summer break between our sophomore and junior. He was just over. I don't remember why, but he was at my house. And then we did this skit. So, I'm gonna put it, I think I have to put an A minus. It's above that one, though. It's above that one. Amiibo Salesman. The story behind this one was one day me, Charlie, and Dylan were all at Charlie's house, and we were playing AI Dungeon, and we made this stupid hypothetical where Charlie was this amiibo salesman who had to, like, make the sale, and, like, the world was ending around him. Like, rocks were falling from the sky. We did implement that into the skit, but it wasn't very good. And like just a bunch of bullcrap would just happen to this man as he's trying to sell amiibos. So that was the whole idea behind that. Yeah, I think it's above Alphabet Soup. All right, Bacon and Eggs was a... I don't even remember where I came up with this, honestly. But we had to... So originally, there was two parts to this skit. There was the first part where Brian is just, like, climbing across his dining room. But then I decided that, like, that wasn't good enough. So, like, months later, we did a second part of this one. And we did the whole basement scene where Brian encounters Bacon and Eggs, and he gets kidnapped, and Ben does this epic speech as Bacon, of course. It was pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think I'll put it in A tier, just because not any higher, just because the first part was pretty weak. All right, Bad Password was a pretty cool skit. Um, how do I describe this? So when I started college, I met this man named Colby who would become the star of one of my good friends and the star of that skit. He would always get his password incorrect, and it was always something simple where he would put the username as his email address when he wasn't supposed to do that, and I thought it was pretty funny because I had to keep telling him. But so yeah, that was where the inspiration for that skit came out of. I don't think it's very. I don't think I did a good job with this one though, so I think I'm gonna put this in C tier. Ben's bathroom. Ben's bathroom adventure. So this was a skit that I made with Ben, Francis, and Jacob over the summer. It was one of those skits where we're just hanging out and we decided to do a skit. There's no like actual plan in it at all. We ran into CRT in the middle of the woods, and that's what kind of started the whole chaos. And we decided to do a skit based off that. I'm gonna put in B tier. Bigfoot, in skit number 50. My inspiration for this one was that I thought it would be funny if people go look for Bigfoot, but it's not actually Bigfoot, it's a Bigfoot, so literally. So that was my inspiration for that one. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Black Friday. This was a cool one that I made. Inspiration for this one was Derek gets really powerful on Black Friday because it's funny like that. And yeah, that's honestly the deal. And he becomes a serial killer because he's a maniac. I think it's gonna be an A tier one. Oh, this one's a tough one. I think A tier. Yeah. Excuse me, guys. I'm getting a little crazy over here in this Saturday the 18th. Captain America tryouts. This was this is another one of my stupid ideas. So this idea I got Dante for Secret Santa that year, and I got him a Captain America shield. So I was trying to think of funny ways I could just give him the shield. It would surprise him that I'm Secret Santa, that I was a Secret Santa. So I thought about doing this skit where it's a Captain America tryout, and Dante gets the role as Captain America, and I give him the shield as a prize. But I eventually just I gave him the shield and asked him if he wanted to do a skit with it, and he said yeah. It could have been better. Had a few. It was kind of like a montage style skit, which is pretty weird. Yeah, Ian was in it. That was like that's her only skit, I think, right as of right now. That was cool. Put in C tier. Serial killer. This one. This one's based off of another skit, like an alternate reality of what could have happened in an earlier skit. And Derek is a serial killer trying to kill Brian, because Brian is goofy, and Ben doesn't like that, so he hired Derek to go kill him. So, I like it. I think that that the scene where they watched the Despicable Me movie was too long, so I think that definitely lowered it a little bit. I think it's gonna be high. I wish there was a tier between this. I think it'll be top of B tier, or near the top of B tier. Christmas Miracle. I like this one a lot for some reason, and I think the reason for that is because it's a weird duo with Seth and Javon. That is a very strange duo that would not make sense in any other circumstance. But they came together and made this skit. So I think I like this one a lot for some reason. I don't fully understand why. So I think it's honestly an A+ skit. Oh boy. Alright, computer science. So this one was a little different from what I originally intended. Let me find it. There it is. Give it a second, guys. It's going crazy. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so Mike dies here. He has a heart attack, basically. But what was supposed to happen in my original draft of it was Mike runs across the room and drinks some milk, and then he just chokes on the milk and dies. And that was my original draft of it, but he didn't want to do that for some reason. So that's what ended up happening. Oh man, it's a short skit, and I think it turned out pretty well. So I almost said Cookie Monster. Cookie Jar is honestly very forgettable, but it's really good. I think this is one of the better skits out that I've made. Ben did a really good job with acting. I forget my inspiration for this one. I think this was around the time when I was in those a film class, and I saw an idea that I really liked, so I kind of stole it and made it my own. Yeah, but this one's very forgettable, but it's really good. It's definitely up in A+ tier. Berto and the Crazy Driver. This is one of those Charlie skits where we're going to be making a skit based off his 4 forms. This is his Crazy Driver form. The Berto part is based off this one time where Charlie got killed by Berto, and he screamed a lot. And it was really funny. I actually wasn't there for that, but I've heard so many stories about it that I just know it by memory now. So I messed up a bit. I meant to put in sound effects for when Charlie or somebody crashes through the window. The TV crashes through the window, and I was supposed to put a sound effect in for it, but I forgot. I thought the scene where Charlie beats everybody up with the crowbar or whatever he was holding could have been better. I think I messed up a little bit. So yeah, I think it could have been better overall. I'm going to put it in high C tier. Detective Armstrong is a really good skit. This is the second skit I did when I decided that I was going to start doing skits. So this is the third skit overall. How do I even describe this one? I don't remember the inspiration. I just knew I wanted to do a skit with Armstrong in it, and that this is what ended up happening. I think Dylan came up with a bunch of ideas for this one where we did the sword fight and everything, and it was really well. I honestly think the sword fight was really well done. I think this goes in A- tier or A tier. Yeah, this goes in A tier. Dwayne 2 is. I'm going to talk about. Let me find Dwayne 1 first. I feel like it's weird to talk about Dwayne 2 before Dwayne 1. So Dwayne 1. Let me think of how did I get inspired for this one? One day I was on a hike with some friends, and my friend Ruby just randomly said, "I'm Dwayne," and I thought it was really funny, so I decided to make a skit off of it where Derek has Dwayne, and he does that funny little dance, and yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I think this one's A-. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for it. Dwayne 2 I think is one of the better ones. We had Francis as the villain, who was also a Dwayne. You have this little Dwayne multiverse here. Yeah, I think Dwayne 2 was S tier. It's either S tier or high A+. I might change it later. So we'll see how my opinion goes. Exciting interview. So this one is definitely one of my worst ones, unfortunately. Not every skit can be really good. Is something I thought of, something I realized as I made these for a few years now. And I think at Skit 43 I should have definitely came up with something better for this one. The inspiration for this one is honestly really cool. One of my friends posted a picture of an egg in like a professional setup being interviewed, and I thought that was funny and wanted to make a skit based off that. But unfortunately I wasn't able to mimic that. I had Edward in town. Edward was in town, so I invited him over and asked if he wanted to do this, and he said yeah. So it just yeah, Edward did a good job. It's just like it just wasn't a very good idea, and I wasn't able to execute it very well. So unfortunately, it's going near on either in last or like close to last. Um, Elise is based off of Animal Crossing New Horizons. This is one of the COVID skits I was able to do on my own. This is the only skit I actually ever did on my own. And it's pretty good. I had to do the printer scene a few times where the Elises were popping out of the printer, and I printed out like 20 of them and taped them across my room. That was funny. That was interesting to do a skit like completely by myself. I I liked it. I think it's honestly might be A tier. Family Guy. What did I think about Family Guy? How do I describe what is the Family Guy inspiration? I don't know, man. It's it's all right. Um, I don't remember how I came up with this skit. There is gonna be a sequel to this one. Mark my words. I just don't remember like how I came up with it. Is the thing. I like it. Came up good. I guess it was like Charlie was. We made jokes about Charlie being addicted to Family Guy, so like we went with that. And then, yeah, yeah, I think it's all right. Yeah, I think it's B tier. Yeah, yeah. Final Delivery was a skit with Mark, who was working at Papa John's at the time, or somewhere, and he had to make this one last delivery where he had to put the stupid thing in the lake, but he had to like find clues along the way before to get there, and he ends up meet. That was cool. He ends up meeting up with Josh. Yeah, yeah, it was pretty neat. I think it's gonna be. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I liked it. Food Patrol 1. I'm just gonna do these in order because it is weird to do Food Patrol 2 before Food Patrol 1. Food Patrol 1. This was a skit. Okay. I do know the inspiration of this one. This was a skit Mark Mark and Brian worked together as cops, and I came up with this because both Brian and Mark expressed interest in being cops in the future. So I want to do a skit with them together. They don't really they've honestly probably have never, they don't interact like at all. So I thought it was pretty neat to do this, and it ended up being pretty well. I think it's A tier, A plus tier. Yeah, yeah. Excuse me. Oh, now Food Patrol 2. That's a masterpiece right there. Brian created the original script with this one, where Mark was supposed to be in it, but he ended up just being too busy with everything going on at the time, so he ended up being not in the skit. So it was Brian and Jacob together as the main cast, and it ended up being really well done. I thought it's my longest skit so far. Yeah, I like it. Get off Fortnite. This was one of those skits where he made in a day and didn't really have any prep at all for it. Derek was playing Doki Doki Literature Club in it instead of Fortnite. This is because like every time Derek came to my house, for some reason he would put on this video game. I don't know why he would do that, but he did, and it just kept happening. So yeah, that was cool. I think that one's Food Patrol 2 is better than Dwayne 2. Frosted Thief. This was the one I was talking about being that serial killer was inspired off of. John was in this skit. That's weird. He lives in Georgia now, so I don't see him that often. But he was in it. He was in it. This was actually supposed to be a completely different skit with John as the main character, but we just didn't have time to record the whole thing. But so I ended up using some of the footage from the original thing and had Ben, Brian, and myself be the rest of it. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I liked it. Um, Jack was the cameraman, and he made a pretty cool fight scene at the end with Ben and Brian. Yeah, I think the original is just a little bit better than the remake. I guess it's a remake. Alright, Fiery's Lunchbox was one of those skits where I was in one of those film classes, and one of my friends one of the kids did a project, and I kind of just stole the idea from it. I think it was executed alright. I think it's C tier. Gym Hat. This one's a weird one. So I recorded this skit with some of my friends from school, but then I realized the audio was really crappy, so I ended up scrapping it. Until I realized I could make this in one of those silent films, and I was like, yeah, I could do that. So a year later, I edited it and finally uploaded it. This would have been the first skit I did with my friends from DeSales if the audio was fine, but it ended up. I think it ended up being good with what it was, so I think it's gonna be. There's nothing super special about it, is the thing. This is one of my earlier ones, even though it's like 24. So yeah, I think I'll give it B tier just because it's the only silent film. Hide and Seek was. How did I come up with this one? I don't remember. It was wow, I don't know. I know the whole pirate thing. I don't why can't I remember? The whole pirate thing was pretty funny. I can't remember my inspiration for this one. Oh well, I guess not everything needs inspiration. I would say it's A minus. Yeah, A minus. Important Message is a skit that I. This is one of those skits that I thought of out of the blue. Like, wouldn't it be funny if Ben spent 5 minutes to say like one line, basically, and he walked back and forth. I remember after we filmed it, we picked up Brian and went to McDonald's, and I just showed him the footage of this one. And he thought the whole Ben walking up to the camera the first time was like supposed to be cut in the final version, but then when Ben walked away, he was like, "No, this can't be. This is the skit." I thought that was really funny. I remember that. The thing is, it's really good, but it doesn't have anything to make it go higher. I think it's pretty good though. Alright, Jason's Gone is probably my favorite skit from this year. This is S tier for sure. I'm not sure if I have to decide later if it's above Food Patrol 2 or not. But I'll tell you the inspiration for this one. This a few years ago, like 5 years ago, at a sleepover, and then I was asleep in the room we were all sleeping in my living room, and then I ended up waking up and just going upstairs and sleeping in my bed. And apparently during that time, Alex woke up, looked over at me, realized I was gone, then woke Charlie up and said, "Hey, Jason's gone." And they both just went back to bed after that. So, yeah, that was my inspiration for that one. I think this skit was extremely well executed. The only thing I would have done better is that transition where Alex opens the box with Derek in it, and then where the scene where he grabs him by the neck and stuff. That would have been my only improvement. Alright, Ketchup is unfortunately in the bottom too. I don't even want to say. I'm just gonna move on from here. Late Christmas was a Christmas skit. I don't know where I came up with this one, honestly, but it's that's how it's a Christmas skit. I guess it's in B tier. It's kind of forgettable. Yeah, I think it's better than Ben's Bathroom Adventure, just by a little bit, though. Now, what am I doing? Bigfoot, I'll keep Bigfoot there for now. I'll change all of these at the end, if depending on how I see fit. Legend of V. This one's a weird one because my friend, who was the main star of the skit, did not want his real name to be spoken, so we just called him V. And it was one of those montage-style skits where it's like a bunch of people getting interviewed about V, and it's just describing how cool he is, and there's not really much to write home about. He actually stopped talking to us after we made this skit, so yeah, that was weird. That was a weird thing that happened. Lens cap. This is Big Ben's only skit as of right now. This is another one of those skits where I made in like an hour with a few of my friends. There was actually quite a few people in this one too. That's funny. There's not really much to write home about. I think it's belongs in the seats here. Mario dies. This was the March 31st skit where Mario like 3D All-Stars gets taken off the website, so Mario technically dies in this video. So yeah, this is another one I don't think was very good. Bryce did a good job as Mario, like he always does. He did that scream really well, and I thought it was funny where we like charge out of the door and Mike's just there, was like, what the? And I thought that was funny. But I thought the final like joke of it, where we just tie him to a tree, wasn't that good. I think like we could have done something better with that, so I think that prevents it from being much higher. The Mets, baby. This is another one that's gonna have a sequel, I think, if we end up doing it. This was pretty good. It's one of those, yeah, it was one of those camping skits where we didn't really, it's not that good. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't have much to say on it. Music Wizard. Music Wizard was a phenomenal skit. It's definitely going in the A+ tier. I don't really know my inspiration, but we thought it would be funny if Mike was this music wizard that Dante accidentally summons, and then Dante gets kidnapped, and we have this ending scene where this is my favorite ending of any skit that I've done. Where is it? Where is it? This has got to be like one of my favorite things I've ever made. Where, hold on. It's gotta load. It's gotta load. My internet's so bad today. Okay, Angel busted in the room to save Dante. He looks over at the music wizard. They have this weird face.
Is it really you?
Ah, it's loading.
It's true. I think it's you, Dad.
And they hug it out. They reveal themselves as father and son. Yeah, I thought that was really good. No, next skit, Masterpiece. This is a dream I had, where Brian shows up as a thing of mustard, and yeah, that skit was an acid trip, guys. New Roommate was a really good skit. I think it's top of A tier. So we introduced the Wario universe, and yeah. Normal Night is bottom of A+. No, it's above these two. This is this is one of those skits we made in an hour, basically, with no proper planning. I just found out that Ben and Brian both had the Stuffed Puff costume, and I was like, oh my gosh, we gotta make something with this. Jonah was in it. That was his first skit. He did a good job. So yeah, I think that one's so good. Origins is the Wario origin story that you never knew it's really tragic, honestly. It's very different from my other skits because it's just kind of Colby getting bullied for like an hour, and then eventually he snaps and turns into Wario. I think I even used the music from Joker for this one. So yeah, that goes in A tier. Not above that one. Yeah. President Ralph. This is the true first skit I've ever made. So in my senior year of high school and my creative writing class, we were set to make a dystopian world of some sort for a story. And I made this world where a new president is decided each year by a raffle. And I thought, and we had to like make some way to show this off physically. So what I did was I made a skit. This was the first skit I ever made. So I made a skit to show off this world, and it had Charlie as the president. He gets killed. No, he doesn't get killed. He invokes one last rule to say if whoever dies becomes the president. No, whoever dies by somebody else, that person becomes the president. And so we have this skit where Armstrong becomes the president because it's funny like that. It's definitely an A- tier skit. I am planning to remake this once I reach 100 subscribers. So if you want to see a remaster of this one, get me 100 subscribers. Simple as that, guys. Simple as that. Property. This is another one of those skits that we made in an hour or so. With no planning at all. I think this is probably the best out of... Wait, no. Did we get to Scooter yet? No, we didn't. Alright, this is the second best out of the skits we made in an hour or so. So, yeah, A-. The Ref. This is one of those ideas that I think was really good, but I don't think we executed as well as it could have been. This is based off of when we were in a youth group together. Ben's dad was the youth director, and he would always be the ref when we played basketball, and he would make the worst calls ever. So we made a skit based off of that idea, where Brian was Ben's dad in this skit, and made some really bad calls. It was one of those montage style skits, which I kind of don't really like doing that much anymore. I want to refrain from doing that in the futures. So, yeah, I think it was probably C tier. It could have been, like I said, it's a good idea. I just wish it was we executed it better. But I think on that day we recorded like 3 skits in one day, so one of them was bound to be bad. We recorded Dwayne, and then we also recorded. What was the other skit we recorded that day? Oh, Bigfoot. Yeah, so yeah, one of those skits was bound to be bad, and the other 2 were really good. Oh boy, Relish was the Halloween special from last year, I think. This is like some kind of torture that I endure. It's definitely in D tier. I don't know if I like the idea of me being force-fed Relish. It was kind of just disgusting, honestly. The lighting was not too super great because we were in Brian's basement, and I don't think I had the good camera yet. So, yeah, I don't want to relive this anymore. I hope I never have to eat Relish again, honestly.
No! No! No!
Okay, yeah, that was bottom. That was disgusting. Alright, rock, paper, scissors. This was a skit where the inspiration was, so back in high school, me and Brian would just play rock, paper, scissors randomly for no reason whatsoever. And we'd do this for hours on end, too. This is some weird stuff that we would do back then. But, we ended up making a skit off of that. Could have been executed better, I think. Could have been executed better. I think it goes in C tier. Alright. Tonging Titan. This one was one of those skits with no plan whatsoever until the day of, where we just made this skit where that ended up being pretty good. I would say this is A plus. I think this one's also A plus. But anyway, Tongan Titan was really good. Yeah, had Jack as the main antagonist. Oh, Are You Okay? And Are You Okay 2? So, Are You Okay 1? We'll talk about that one first. I don't remember the idea that I came up with this for, but I do know I had some inspiration for it. I just don't remember what it is. So, I do remember this one was really good. It was pretty good, honestly. I think it goes in B tier above, like, Christmas. Now, wait, that's the wrong one. Nope. There we go. Okay. Are You Okay 2, on the other hand, I feel like wasn't as good as Are You Okay 1. I think this one can go below the Mets. Scooter! This one was one of those skits we didn't have any planning for, and it was also a one-shot. So I think that was pretty cool that we were able to do that. I think Derek got beat up because of racism or something. No. Smoking PSA. This one, Dante got beat up, and so obviously it's S tier. Yeah, this one's definitely S tier. Okay. Okay. Alright, I talk about cars. This one's a simple one I wanted to do for a while, but I just never had time to do it. But we did it recently this past year. I thought it was executed okay. I didn't make this skit, write this skit to be like spectacular or anything. I just made it for something to make. So I think it was lower B tier. Yeah. Pizza delivery. I like this one a lot more than I remembered it when I first made it. I think it's top, like, near the top of B tier. Yeah, that's good. A minus tier. Sorry, guys. Uber driver. This one was weird. There was we had Dante trapped in the car, which was pretty funny. And he was tied up. Oh, God. What a time. What a time. Alright, and Wario and the Sacred Sword was, one of those COVID skits where we made in an hour. I forced Colby to wear the Wario costume. I haven't seen him in like a year, and I put him in the Wario costume. And then, I made him fight Jacob, and then I gave Jacob the stupid Sans High for some reason. That was weird that I did that. That was such a weird skit. Oh my god. Alright, yeah, so I think Relish is definitely the worst, just because it grosses me out now. Ketchup, Excited Interview, Are You Okay 2, and the Mets. I think this is a good order. The Ref is better than Rock, Paper, Scissors, is better than Lens Cap, is not better than Captain America, in my opinion. Get Off of Fortnite is not better than the Ref, though. Captain America is better than Bad Password. And Fury's Lunchbox. But not Mario Dies. Mario Dies is better than Kirby. Not Kirby. Berto and the Crazy Driver. As well as Important Message. And Jim Hat. And a Talk About Cars. And Ben's bathroom adventure. And the Christmas skit. And yeah. Oh man, this one's a lot better than I remembered it. Okay, that's a good spot for it. Okay. I like how these two are right next to each other. Ooh. Hear that neck crack? That one kind of hurt, honestly. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult you guys by that glorious neck crack. Honestly, this is a pretty good order right now for A- tier. Because here's the thing, when I first made Elise, I don't remember liking it that much. But now after, like, it's been some time, I like it more. It's weird. I think this is good. Alright, yeah, I think this is good. I like this list.